The Libra New Moon is happening on October 21st, 2025 at 8:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this new moon energy is an interesting one for me, looking at what's happening on the chart. And we are in the year of 2025, which brings us 9 universal energy. This 9 universal energy is powerful energy, and I keep saying that in the videos that I'm sharing because the number 9 energy marks the end of a major cycle. Yes, the new moon energy brings in new relationships, but wherever there's a beginning, there has to be an ending. Where there's an ending, there is a beginning. So with this Libra new moon energy, yes, you can expect new beginnings when it comes to how you're relating to people, places, and things, because Libra is an energy that deals with relationships, but it's not just relationships to other people. It's how you relate to people, places, and things, but most importantly, how are you relating to yourself? My name is KathyLaDonna. This is Soul in Vibration. So when it comes to how you relate to yourself, I feel like that's the most important thing. That's the most important relationship I feel like a person will ever have, because the relationship with yourself will set the tone, will build the foundation or create the foundation as to how you build relationships with others. I find with myself, as the years go by, through observation and becoming more aware of myself, becoming a dedicated student of myself, the better my relationship gets with myself, the better my relationship gets with others. And when I say get with others, it doesn't mean that, the better my relationship gets with self, I'm having a million friends. When I say the better my relationship gets with others, the less I experience drama, because the better my relationship gets with myself, the more I'm able to stand on my boundaries and be picky and know that I deserve the best. You see, with Libra energy could be a bit of a people pleasing energy, because with Libra dealing with relationships, I feel like with Libra energy, sometimes this energy could cause us to see our self-worth through the people we associate ourselves with, people, places, and things. It could be more of a status driven energy, not truly seeing our worth, not seeing what we bring, but more seeing our value coming from the people, places, and things, thinking that we need others to elevate us in some way. And for me, whoever validates you owns you. And this Libra new moon is a powerful one. First, it's at 28 degrees. 28 degrees, a powerful degree. 2 plus 8 is 10. But first, with the number 2 and the number 8, both are feminine energies. Feminine because they're even. And feminine energies for me are introverted energies. Energies that gain strength or recharge from going within, even though the number 8 operates more like a masculine energy because of its authoritative way of being. But a new moon is when the sun and the moon are at the exact degree in the same sign. And with a new moon energy where the sun and the moon are at the exact degree in the same sign, that energy brings in new beginnings. Unlike the full moon where the sun and the moon are opposing each other, they're in a tug of war. With the sun and the moon together, they get to charge each other because they're not at a distance pulling on each other. Where when the sun and the moon are at odds, say in a person's natal chart, the sun is your identity. The moon is our inner world, how we nurture ourselves. The sun is the masculine aspects of us. The moon is the feminine. And when they're at odds, you'll have one part of your personality that wants to experience one thing or do things a certain way. And then there's another part of your personality that's in conflict with the other. So when the sun and the moon are together, they get to nurture and recharge each other and operate as a unit. I think of it as, say, a child who grows up in the household where their mother and father are in love with each other, and the mother and father operate as a unit. Because of that, they have more energy and love to give to the household and the family. And with, say, the sun and the moon, the sun, masculine energy, the number one, the moon, feminine energy, number two, when they come together, they create the child. They give birth to the number three, the creative self-expression of the sun and the moon coming together and creating that charge. So this new moon energy creates some form of self-expression. And with it in the sign of Libra, this new way of expressing ourselves, new way of being, or this new thing that might be showing up in our lives is a new way of having relationships with other people, or a new way of relating to things. For some of us, we might find with this new way of relating through the years, we've learned some things about ourselves and learned to be more detached in a healthy way. Learn to work on, say, our anxious ways of being and the need to hold on so tightly to things, fearing that they're leaving. Through the years, some of us may have worked on those fears, and we can now have healthy interactions, healthy exchanges with people, places, and things. And like I said, Libra energy is a relationship oriented energy. When you think of Libra, think of the scales. Think of the scales where you could weigh one thing on one side and something could be weighed on the next. And when I think of the Libra scales and I think of Libra energy, I think of Libra as an energy that's constantly seeking balance. This is the part of all of us where we're indecisive. It's hard for us to make up our mind when it comes to certain things. And we're constantly seeking balance. We're constantly trying to bring this area of our lives into balance, depending on where Libra is in your chart. Wherever Libra is in your chart, this area of your life probably operates on some kind of a seesaw. 1 minute it's up, next minute it's down, and you're trying to get it into an even space. The issue with Libra energy for me is we tend to put other people, places, and things on one side of the scale, and then we put ourselves on the other, and we weigh ourselves based on those people, places, and things. This is where we determine our worth based on these people, places, and things. And when we live our life that way, it could be stressful. It could be frustrating. I think of a person constantly experiencing imposter syndrome. And you know the saying, comparison is the thief of joy. I feel like with that Libra energy, wherever it is in our chart, we have to be careful of comparison, because we could easily find ourselves losing joy because consciously or unconsciously we're looking out and seeing what others are doing or how others are doing in relation to ourselves. I find for me personally, when it's time for me to say lock in on certain things and I'm trying to get certain things done, I tend to edit the world around me and lock out distractions so I won't get distracted with what other people are doing. Because if we allow ourselves to get distracted by what other people are doing, that could get in the way of our authenticity. And instead of allowing our intuition and our creative juices to flow and make things happen, we consciously or unconsciously edit ourselves and what we're doing accustomed to according to what other people are doing, only to find out later that your original thought, your original idea was the correct one, and you would have been better off going with it. So this new moon in Libra energy, like I said, is happening 28 degrees when it comes to this new moon. It's on the 21st of October. October 21st, 2025 adds up and reduced to the number 4 vibration. The number 4 energy is one that deals with stability and security. So some things that we'll be feeling on and around this new moon energy is some things coming up around not feeling secure within ourselves. And keep in mind, not feeling secure within yourself based on your current situation. A lot of the frustration might come from you comparing where you are in your journey to where someone else is in their journey. Like a bird and a fish, those two things to me, other than the fact that they're living beings or animals, they shouldn't be compared. So our journey should not be compared to someone else's. And you could easily find yourself around this new moon energy feeling intense emotions due to comparison. With the number 4 energy, and I got that number from adding up the numbers in the day being October 21st, 2025, reducing to number 4. The number 4 does deal with stability, security, commitment. So, you know, what areas in your life do you find yourself feeling intensity about, but not even intensity, maybe discomfort, maybe a sense of imbalance, like feeling any challenging emotions? More than likely, balance is needed to be brought into that area in order to feel more secure. So on the full moon, you want to pay attention to any negative or challenging emotions that you're feeling. That is due to a weak foundation. And a weak foundation doesn't always come from you needing to physically do something in your life to structure things. It could just be your faith around this thing, your faith, your mindset, the way you see yourself in the world where this thing is concerned, or maybe needing to get to the root of limiting beliefs and chatter, unconscious chatter that might be going on in your mind, and that might need to be addressed, around this energy when it comes to why your foundation isn't weak. When it comes to, say, journaling, there's a journaling prompt that I do whenever I find myself feeling anxious or feeling unstable or feeling stressed or just dealing with negative emotions. And when it comes to this journal prompt, I'll ask myself, when it comes to the thing that I'm stressed about, what are all the things that I could do? Is there anything that I haven't done? So when it comes to the thing that I'm stressed about, I ask myself, is there anything that I haven't done that could make this situation better? And I list out all the things that I could do to make this thing better. List out everything that I can think of. And once I know I've done everything I could possibly do to secure or make this thing better, and I'm still feeling doubt or negative emotions, then I know what I'm feeling has to do with faith, me not trusting in myself or trusting in the Creator. So that shows me that I need to do some faith-based work. I need to work on my faith. And sometimes your faith might be in place, but you got to work on your limiting beliefs or the negative self-chatter that's happening in the mind. And this is where meditation comes in, and being present throughout the day so that you could recognize those thoughts and redirect your attention to more positive and uplifting thoughts. And that's, of course, after journaling and addressing those limiting thoughts, making sure there's no truth to them. And when I say truth to them, maybe there's more you could be doing in a certain area, and that's why those thoughts are coming up as indicators. But once you know you've done everything, then, this is where, like I said, faith work comes in, meditation, and redirecting limiting thoughts and beliefs. So with us being in a 9 universal year, and I'm jumping around here, so stay with me, but that's always been my style. So if you're used to my content, that's what I do. So because it's not like I have notes or anything, so I'm just going with the flow. So yes, this new moon energy happening in a 9 universal year. I did mention that in a 9-year, things are coming to an end. We're at the end of a cycle, but we're also entering into the beginning of one. So with this new moon energy, there's a beginning when it comes to either a relationship possibly, or just a new way of relating to people, places, and things. I could definitely see that in myself and me showing up and choosing to relate to certain things differently based on the lessons I've learned from these things in the past, and based on how these things add value or how they might deplete my energy. So with this new moon, I keep getting ready to call it a full moon. And I feel like that's because, again, with every new moon, something has to come to an end to make space for the new beginning. With every full moon, there's a beginning and an ending. With all of it, there's a beginning and an ending. So I keep calling it a full moon, but it's a new moon in Libra. So there's two things that I want to point out when it comes to this new moon in Libra: a T-square and a yod. So a T-square is happening between the new moon in Libra, Jupiter in Cancer, and Pluto in Aquarius. That might be the challenging emotions that you might be feeling around and on this new moon. So starting with Pluto in Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius energy. First of all, Pluto deals with death, rebirth, and it's an energy that could deal with authority or power struggles, just to name a few. In the sign of Aquarius, Aquarius energy deals with friends, friend groups. It deals with charitable groups or organizations, or for me, just the groups or organizations that you gravitate towards because you guys share a similar fixed way of thinking about something. And with Pluto energy there, Pluto is transforming those groups we associate ourselves with. It's transforming our public image, how we want to be seen in the world, because those are some things associated with Aquarian energy, but how we want to be seen in the world based on the work that we do. And, you know, Aquarian energy is the people that come together and join us when it comes to this interest or this thing that we do or we're into. And with Pluto energy there, Pluto is transforming that because clearly there's something changing with us when it comes to our goals, our ambition, our legacy, how we want to be seen in the world. And as we grow and as we change, of course, the people we're associating ourselves with are going to change. The way we network are going to change, or the dynamic of those connections are going to change as we change. And an example of that might be, say, before you had a certain interest, and from the interest, you know, you met a group of other like minds. And yes, you have this same interest, but now you want to take things to a different level. You were once a student when you made these connections. Now you want to teach. So now you're going to possibly show up in these groups differently as an authoritative figure. Not that you're intentionally showing up that way, but your energy is going to give that based off the confidence and the work you've been putting in. And hence you're going to start to attract others that match this new energy. Those are some things that comes to mind with the transformation of Pluto and Aquarius, or transformation as in people are becoming more passionate about their interests. And it's like, you can't just say you're down with this cause. You have to show me. You know, those are some things I think of when I think of Pluto and Aquarius. And with Pluto and Aquarius, you know, our friend groups and our public image is changing in a major way. And in whatever way it's changing, it has to change in a way that is authentic and true. Because Pluto energy is an exposing energy that forces us to be honest and truthful about what we truly desire when it comes to, say, I think of like, say, 11th house is Aquarian energy, 10th house is Capricorn energy, but the 10th house deals with our goals, our legacy. So with Pluto and Aquarius, and I imagine it like Pluto and 11th house energy, with your public image transforming, that's because something changed about your identity, something changed about your legacy, and it has to change into what is authentically true to you. So I think of the person who struggles with imposter syndrome and people pleasing, who's been limiting themselves for a while, playing small, not trying to offend anyone. And eventually they've awoken to their truth that I want to be an authority in this area of my life because I put work in, I have knowledge, and I know people could benefit from what I have to share. You know, this person starts to own that authoritative person inside of themselves, and Pluto starts in the 11th house, starts bringing in the kind of people that support that within them, showing them that what you see for yourself is possible. And here is your tribe or your community that would help facilitating that. But Pluto and Aquarius is squaring the new moon in Libra. And I feel like this square to the new moon in Libra goes back to Libra's people-pleasing ways, in the sense that with Pluto and Aquarius bringing in this new wave of energy where we have to be authentically true and be okay with letting go certain friendships and connections, because with Pluto and Aquarius, and Pluto dealing with death and rebirth, as new connections are coming in, some old ones are leaving. And I feel like with this new moon in Libra energy, yes, there's a new beginning to how we're relating to people, places, and things, but we can't help but feel the discomfort or the uncomfortable energy that we feel when it comes to asserting this new version of ourselves, or releasing the connections that no longer are in alignment with this new version of ourselves that we're birthing. The new moon in Libra is also squaring Jupiter in Cancer, and Jupiter in Cancer energy, Jupiter is an expansive energy. Wherever it is, it's like a magnifying glass. You're able to see things you didn't see before, or it's an energy that is optimistic, just to name a few. It helps you to be way more optimistic about an area where maybe you were a little bit more pessimistic. And Jupiter in Cancer helps us to be optimistic around things that, our inner world, how we nurture ourselves. We're more optimistic about nurturing and taking care of ourselves and taking care of others, which is good. Jupiter in Cancer can also open up a can of worms when it comes to issues around our moms, our homes, our families, the kind of nurturers we are. Jupiter in Cancer could also create opportunities around real estate or make us see the truth in something around how we've always viewed real estate, security, stability, or even the things we find sacred. I feel like Jupiter in Cancer kind of comes in and opens up a place that was always private and sacred, and it kind of opens it up in a way that, yes, it allows for opportunity because we can't keep doing the same old, and we're able to see the opportunities that were present with Jupiter in Cancer, and it's a matter of preparation. Preparation will determine whether we're able to act on Cancer-related things in our chart. And with Jupiter in Cancer squaring the new moon in Libra, it feels as if these new connections feel like they're imposing when it comes to our private life in a way. And I feel like the reason why they might be imposing, I think of, say, for example, for some of us, we want new experiences, we want better, but at the same time, we're struggling with imposter syndrome. We're struggling with standing up and owning what it is that we want. And, this T-square energy, it feels like when it comes to this T-square energy, for me, it feels as if, say, things have already shifted. Major changes has already happened. There's a new opportunity or a new world, or our life is already looking different in a major way. It started with small ways, but small things are building up and our lives are looking different, or there's an opportunity for things to be different. And with the new moon in Libra, I think of those of us who are still struggling when it comes to our people-pleasing ways. And if you ever want to get to the bottom of your people-pleasing, you want to think back to your childhood when you first noticed you put the mask on. And when I say think back to your childhood when you first noticed you put the mask on, and it could be any little thing. It could be a traumatizing situation that or it could be something that others might think is just not that serious. But I feel like for people pleasing, I feel like we had to have consistently experienced something that we perceived to be traumatizing, where it wasn't okay for us to be ourselves, and we had to conform. And conforming meant putting the mask on to go along, to get along, putting the mask on so we could neutralize a threat. So for me, reflecting back to the first time, and like I said, I feel like we become the way we are through repetition and patterns. So I feel like for me, it would have had to been either maybe for someone a major moment that was so traumatizing it shocked the mask on, or a consistent repetitive thing that happened for a period of time that caused us to put the mask on. And for me, reflecting on that helps me to understand, okay, how this thing has shaped me into, the person I am, to understand that this isn't who I am. Like whenever a person say I'm shy, but you could tell they're clearly not shy, you can tell they're still operating from that trauma. And I feel like with Libra energy and wanting to balance the scales, balance things out, not wanting to rock the boat, not wanting to pick a side. I feel like that energy, the negative traits of Libra energy, I feel like represent some kind of trauma where we saw that it wasn't okay to pick a side, or we're worried about the consequences of picking a side. I think of how with Libra energies and those who are strongly associated with Libra or Venusian energy sometimes could often find themselves in situations where people think people assume you're a friend when you were just being nice, you were just being kind. You were just showing up in your mind being you, but I think of, showing up in a way that doesn't cause conflict. And I feel like in certain situations, we have to be okay with being the villain in other people's stories. And I feel like with this T-square being made to the new moon, I feel like it's that fear around being the villain in other people's stories. And it doesn't even have to be anything major. It could be being the villain because you said no. You said no to the group. You said no to your mother. You said no to your siblings. It's like being afraid to be the villain. And I feel like this T-square energy, it's like it's helping us to see, in order to become this new version of ourselves that's relating to people, places, and things, or even developing a different relationship with ourselves, we're going to have to be okay with being exposed in a way with Jupiter in Cancer, dealing with the deaths and friendships and connections with Pluto in Aquarius. So I feel like that's the challenging energy that we might feel around this new moon energy. But I feel it's a catalyst to help us to recognize that, like, it's okay. Like, it's okay to deal with discomfort. It's okay to piss some people off. It's okay to be the villain in their story. But on another note, I want to talk about the Yod, the hand of God, which I feel like when I think of the Yod, the hand of God, and this is happening between Uranus in Gemini and Neptune conjunct Saturn. Saturn is in Pisces, and those energies are pointing to the new moon. So when I think of the Yod, I think of, like, say, Harry Potter and someone pointing their magic wand or pointing their finger, and then powerful energies are coming out of it. Illuminating energy is coming out of it. I feel like when I look at the Yod on the chart, it feels as if the new moon is being charged up by, say, Uranus in retrograde in Gemini and Saturn conjunct Neptune. Neptune is in Aries, Saturn is in Pisces. It feels like those two energies are pretty much pointing at the new moon and charging it up with energy. And interesting enough, the energies that are pointing at the new moon and charging it up are all energies in retrograde, where with the T-square being made to the moon, those energies are direct. But with the Yod, the hand of God, charging up the new moon, the energies are in retrograde. So it feels like there's a blast to the past that is charging at this new moon energy. And the blast to the past might be, say, between yesterday, today, days around the new moon. Someone from your past might try to hit you up or might try to come back into your world. And I say that because of the retrograde energy, the looking back. Or you might think about someone from the past and you're looking to hit them up, check on them, see what's happening with them. But say Uranus in Gemini in retrograde. Uranus in Gemini, Uranian energy is a futuristic energy, a rebellious energy. It's an energy that is innovative. And to me, in order for us to innovate, we have to observe what is present and realize what doesn't work about it and rebel and create something new. So with Uranian energy in Gemini, to me, Uranus in Gemini is creating freedom, evolution. And we'll see this in things that have to do with technology, things that have to do with communication. But in our personal lives, we'll see, things may have come up within the past few days that force us to reflect on our relationships with our siblings, our relationships with our community, the relationship with the people in close proximity to us. And we might be reflecting on certain ways how we may have given our power to these people in the past, or to these circumstances or these things in the past. And, we're looking now how we could free ourselves from basically the chains that we feel when it comes to your siblings, your family members, your community, your classmates, your coworkers, the people that you see on a regular basis that are in close proximity to where you live or close proximity to where you spend your days. These are the people in the groups that you didn't choose. They're just a part of, say, the community, a part of the church, a part of the school, a part of the job. So that energy is flowing into the new moon. And then we have, say, Neptune in retrograde in Aries. We're fantasizing and reflecting on possibilities of how we want to show up in the world, who we want to be. When I said that, I imagine a child wearing the Superman cape with both their hands at their waist, standing in that power position. And I feel like with Neptune in retrograde in Aries, we're reflecting on ourselves in the power position. We're reflecting on that ideal version of ourselves because this is allowing us to dream. Neptune is a dreamer. And in Aries, we're dreaming about possibilities when it comes to ourselves, our ambitions and things of that. And with it in retrograde, some of us are reflecting on, say, I've always wanted to become a so-and-so. I've always wanted to do this, that, and the next. And we're reflecting on it. And with Saturn in retrograde in Pisces, Saturn is an energy that deals with the past. It deals with time. It deals with stability. It deals with seniority. Wherever Saturn is in your chart, Saturn will make you an authority over that house and sign if you're willing to put the work in, because Saturn is that coach that knocks over sandcastles after you built them and you thought you did such an amazing job, but Saturn saw how you could have done better because the way you built that sandcastle wasn't authentic to you. You built it just like how your mom and dad built it. And it's like, even though, you know, the way they built their castles were perfect, you are in a different time and you are a different person. So I personally believe Saturn energy teaches us to become the authority of ourselves. And in order to do so, we have to be authentic about who we are and what we want to represent. So with Saturn and Pisces, Pisces is a dreamy energy, a dreamy, imaginative, watery, emotional space. And when I think of Pisces energy, I think of an oil lamp, for example, an oil lamp that is just, think of the oil just flowing around. There's no structure. And it's like, imagine the ocean is an oil lamp and there's no structure. There's no banks. There's nothing to hold it in. Everything is just flowing. And with everything flowing like that, that could be cool in the dream and fantasy realm. But when we come into this physical earthly realm, that energy could be problematic as there's no structure. There's no structure and there's no boundaries, where Saturn transiting Pisces brought the structure and boundaries to a place where there is none. So it's like, think of an oil lamp where the glass around the oil lamp is Saturn. It created structure where there is none. So Saturn and Pisces for us is where we are able to monetize our dreams and goals. Something that was once just a childhood dream or childhood goal or childhood idea, we start to reflect on it with Saturn in retrograde, and we start to see how we could turn it into something very successful, because Saturn now is implementing time in a place where time doesn't exist, Pisces energy. Saturn is implementing boundaries, a checklist, organized way of approaching things in a place where there is no organization. So I feel like for, say, the last year or two, for some of us, Saturn transiting Pisces may have been a major game changer for us, as it helped us to be, as it helped us to be practical, or it helped us to see things we couldn't see because things were just moving too fast, or there was just no structure. And I feel like also too, for some, it may have helped their intuitive abilities to be even stronger, because Pisces is such a psychic medium type energy. And Saturn helps us to become more confident in our abilities because of the structure. Maybe this is through journaling and things like that we implement to see things more clear. But the Yad, the hand of God, coming from Saturn conjunct Neptune and Uranus, bringing all that energy to the new moon, both in retrograde, brings me to the thought of this new beginning when it comes to how we're relating to people, places, and things, is charged by an organized way of seeing things that we used to see in a dreamy way. So wherever Pisces is in your chart, for the longest, you may have experienced a lot of disappointment and betrayal because you saw things through rose-colored glasses there, seeing the potential of people, places, and things, giving things the benefit of the doubt, not for them, but it's for you, the dreamer. And with Pisces with Saturn going in there, it's like you're able to see things a lot more clear and make different kind of direct decisions. And with Uranus in retrograde and Gemini, it's like, okay, reflecting on freedom and how I could be innovative and free when it comes to how I'm communicating myself, and when I'm around family and different groups. And like I said, with the Yad, with Uranus and Gemini, Saturn conjunct Neptune, pointing at the new moon energy, yes, there's this new beginning when it comes to how we're relating to people, places, and things. But with memories of, say, feeling restricted in our community and within groups, and memories of not being clear on how to go about certain things, it's like now there's clarity when it comes to how we're moving or how we maneuver in the areas of our lives where Saturn, where Pisces is in your chart, and then knowing what freedom looks like in the area of your life where Gemini is in your chart. Those things are amplifying the new beginnings, or the way you go about creating new beginnings when it comes to this new moon in Libra energy. So it's like, yeah, we're starting new relationships with ourselves, people, places, and things. But these new relationships are influenced based on a need for freedom and of expression. Freedom when it comes to how we're expressing ourselves. Freedom when it comes to how we're showing up. Innovation when it comes to how we're expressing ourselves. Innovation when it comes to how we're showing up. And also to a clear view when it comes to things that we were once like maybe a little bit delusional about. So for me, when it comes to this new beginning energy, it feels like there's boundaries when it comes to these new beginnings. It feels like I know what I want now. So because I know what I want now in a relationship with myself, I know what I want when it comes to a relationship with others. I think of, say, Libra energy being ruled by Venus. And, you know, some of us become so much more clear now on our core values. And when it comes to our core values, we know that we reflect these values, we live these values, we are these values. So because you are that, you know, you're expecting nothing less from the people you associate yourself with. It's not something where you're like, I fancy these values, I admire these. No, you embody these values. So because you embody these values, yes, you'll have fun and be cool with people who are cool. But it's only the people who embody these values and value them the way you value them really get to, you know, come inside your personal space and develop something personal with you. So yeah, when it comes to this new moon energy, when it comes to the challenges, I feel like the challenges are triggering imposter syndrome and fear of being disliked. And when it comes to the yad is energizing as it is reminding you how to create new relationships, or why you should do things different based on how you've done them before. So this new moon energy is an interesting one. It's one that I could already feel because I'm recording this video just the day before. I have timestamps in the description box if you want to hear your sun, moon, rising placements. If you resonate with this message, you'll definitely enjoy my daily horoscope videos available only on Patreon. If you'd like to book a session with me, the links for that are also in the description box below. So let's jump into the sun, moon, and rising placements. Hi Libra, sun, moon, and rising. Libra, this full moon, I keep saying full moon. Libra, this new moon is happening in your sign. So there's a new beginning when it comes to your identity. You're seeing yourself differently. And I feel like the catalyst that may have helped you to see yourself differently, of course, is through the eyes of others. And I mean, isn't that the way how life is? Others are our mirrors. They show up and show us different version or aspects of ourselves. So with this new moon energy, there is this new beginning when it comes to your identity. And it feels like there's some things coming up around others. There's some kind of opposition around others. I feel like for some people, it's almost as, how do I have this new version of me and also to have certain connections? And it's like, you got to be okay with being the villain in other people's eyes. This new moon in your sign is being squared by Jupiter in your 10th house. Jupiter in your 10th house is expanding things. Things are becoming expansive as far as who do you want to be career-wise? And some luck and opportunity is also coming into your world career-wise. Maybe opportunity to make more money, or just basically being more optimistic about where you could take things career-wise. You got Pluto in your 5th house, and that creates major changes when it comes to maybe romantic interests, or maybe passions are changing. Some things you thought you were passionate about you're just not passionate about those things anymore. So when it comes to, say, the new moon in your sign, some challenges are coming in when it comes to your legacy, your goals, your ambitions, and maybe romantic interest is challenging you around this new moon, or some passions that you thought you were passionate about are those are changing, but that's challenging your identity. It feels like maybe even something around children. So for some Libras, it's something around your mother or father, whoever is the authoritative person in your life, and your partner, or your mother, father, your children. But it just feels like maybe your identity and passion feels challenging around this new moon energy. I get the feeling of someone feeling like, damn, I feel like I can't have it all. I feel like I have to make a sacrifice. And I don't feel like you have to make a sacrifice. I feel like for some Libras, it's a matter of being okay with being alone, being okay with losing everything. I feel like when we're okay with losing everyone, then we gain everything. Because when we're okay with losing everyone and everything in the process of choosing ourselves, I feel like it makes us more attractive. It makes us more magnetic. So the yod is happening in your 9th house and your 6th house. So something happening in your 9th house and your 6th house is charging up this new version of you. Charging up this new version of you in the sense that you want freedom when it comes to, say, travel, or freedom when it comes to your education. You want freedom when it comes to philosophy or spiritual beliefs. You also want things are changing, or you're gaining clarity when it comes to your diet, your health, and how you're spending your time on a day-to-day basis. So with your 6th house and your 9th house charging up your 1st house, I feel like reflecting on freedom when it comes to education, travel, philosophy, spirituality, and also to being clear around diet and how you're managing and spending your time. I feel like those things are helping to enforce this new version of you. If you resonate with this message, you'll definitely enjoy my daily horoscope videos available only on Patreon. If you'd like to book a session with me, the links for both those things are in the description box below. Before you go anywhere, let me know you're here by dropping a white heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hi, Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. So this new moon is happening in your 12th house. So there's this new beginning when it comes to something unconscious or something hidden. Maybe you became aware of this hidden version of yourself. It's almost like unlocking layers within your own self, or layers within your own psyche. I think of, say, the Scorpio that's into, say, different realms and dimensions, and it's almost like you became aware of a different realm, you became aware of a different dimension. On another note, for some Scorpios, maybe it's a new beginning when it comes to you're finally getting sleep now, or you're finally doing better when it comes to your mental health, or there's a new beginning with meditation, spirituality, or a new beginning when it comes to your manifestation. You're seeing a manifestation coming to life. It could be that. But it feels like there's an opposition, a back and forth with this new beginning for you, and possibly, say, your schedule, or possibly, how you go about things on a day-to-day basis. It feels like something about your schedule or going about things on a day-to-day basis feels like, to a certain extent, it could be a little bit intrusive on this new beginning coming in. So your 9th house is where Jupiter is, and your 4th house is where Pluto is. And those two things are creating a T-square to where the new moon is in your chart. So it would feel as if there's something challenging around either, say, if you're someone who publishes content, if it could be something challenging around the content you're publishing, or say with the new moon in your 12th house, there's this new beginning for you when it comes to spirituality and new perspective when it comes to how you're seeing some unconscious things. The square in the 9th house could be that you keep coming across content, or you're not coming across enough content to validate this view or belief. And this is where you need to go inside yourself, keep a journal, and trust your experiences. Also, to the 4th house where Pluto is squaring your 12th house. So there's some things that, 4th house deals with what makes us feel nurtured. So maybe some things are challenging as far as, challenging your security or your stability, kind of like a little bit scary, forcing you up out of your safe space. Also, too, with the T-square coming from your 9th and your 4th house, This could look like some things, some people dealing with some power struggles when it comes to their household and where they're living. And it's like there's issues around philosophy, spiritual beliefs, and challenges coming from the household. But I feel like the challenges, if this is the case, coming from the household and the spiritual beliefs, philosophy, traveling, maybe even a career that deals with education, teaching. If there's challenges coming from that, it feels like those energies are meant to activate you and wake you up. It'll feel as if those energies are a catalyst. Like I think of the person who goes through the breakup and they wake up to their spiritual journey. So it feels like whatever it is that you're dealing with that is challenging your safe space, your sacred space, and the thing that is also challenging your philosophical beliefs or spiritual beliefs or what you're learning or teaching, it feels like it's meant to wake you up. But the yod is coming, the hand of God is coming from your 8th and 5th house. So these energies there's retrograde happening in these energies, and they're charging up where the new moon is happening for you. So with Uranus in your 8th house, you want freedom when it comes to debt. You want to be free from debt, and you're reflecting on things pertaining to debt, or you want to be free in your mind, freedom when it comes to your psychology. So it's like there's reflection on, say, power struggles or control with siblings or communication or the community around you. And it's like that is speaking or charging up this new beginning when it comes to your subconscious, your unconscious mind. Unconscious things are becoming conscious for you around this new moon. And Saturn in your 5th house, Saturn conjunct Neptune, coming from your 5th house energy, also charging up the 12th house, certain passions, certain interests. So passions, interests, and psychology feels like they're charging up this new beginning where unconscious things are becoming conscious. And when it comes to the reflection on these things, it's like, okay, I'm remembering, say, dreams I used to have. I'm remembering things that I that I've forgotten for so long in childhood. It's like there's something about remembering, something around psychology, something around power struggles, and all of these are helping you to become free as something unconscious is becoming conscious, and from that you're taking your power back. Scorpio, if you resonate with this message, then you will love my daily horoscope videos, only available on Patreon. If you'd like to book a session with me, the link for both of those things are within the description box below. Before you go, let me know you're here by dropping a blue heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hi, Sag, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So Sag, the new moon is in your 5th house. So this is a new beginning for you. Around, maybe you're making a new group of friends, a new group of friends. Maybe you're joining some new group or new organization, whether it is for fun, some passion interest of yours. Maybe it's networking, or maybe some charitable organization that you're a part of. So some challenges that are coming up around this new beginning that you're starting is coming from your 8th house, maybe loans, debts, something around credit. Could feel like it's challenging these new beginnings, and also to something from your the area of your life that deals with travels, maybe short distance travel, maybe communication. So what I'm getting from the T-square being made to the new moon is that there is new beginnings when it comes to some friendship, relationship, or friend group. But the challenges that are coming up could come up around, say, something around like, needing to take out a loan, or something around money in order to participate in this new thing, this group thing. Or something around psychology, something around mindset based, something around communication. Maybe when it comes to, say, this group, it's like, okay, I like this group that I'm a part of, and I connected with this group through work, but on a psychological level, like I don't feel okay when it comes to sharing certain things with this group. I don't feel okay when it comes to expressing myself with this group. If possible, power struggles coming up when it comes to the communication with this group. And I feel like when it comes to this T-square and the challenges in this energy, this is where, we got to learn that it's okay to just vibe with people where they're at. And we don't have to go deep with everyone, not saying that is the case here. When it comes to, say, the yod, though, the hand of God and energy, energizing this new moon. It feels like for you, there's a lot around freedom and relationship. You want to be more free in your relationships and how you're relating to people. Also, too, things are becoming way more clear for you about where you want to live and what nurtures you, your relationship with your mother, and how you nurture others and yourself. And I feel like you're reflecting a lot for some of you on your childhood home, your relationship with your mother, how you nurture yourself, how you nurture others. Also reflecting on past relationships and how you felt restricted in them. And I love that this is energizing the new beginnings when it comes to, say, friend groups that you're joining around your public image, networking, charitable organization, and things of that. And I love that the reflection mode is charging these new beginnings, because for me, it's like we have to learn from the past in order to make the future different. And from you reflecting on certain things from the past, when it comes to making new connections, I could see how we enforce better boundaries, because we've been here before. We've done this before. And I love that for you. If you resonate with this message, then you'll definitely love my daily horoscope videos, available only on Patreon. If you'd like to book a session with me, the links for both of those things are in the description box below. Before you go anywhere, let me know you're here by dropping a red heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hi Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This new moon is happening in your 10th house. So with this new moon energy happening in your 10th house, there's a new beginning when it comes to your goal, your legacy, how you want to show up in this world, how you want to be remembered. Maybe for some of you, you're entering into the workforce, into a new career in the workforce. I think of, for a lot of us, how some of us took a break from certain careers or certain jobs and pursued other things, and you might be re-entering in some way. And with, say, the new moon happening in your 10th house, it's like you're learning to, it feels like there's like this level of integrate, like I need to learn how to relate again to this. So say you've been working from home and now you have to go back into an office. It feels like, you know, like there's a new beginning when it comes to that and having to relate to something around that all over again. The new moon is in your 10th house, and it's being squared by your 7th and your 2nd house. So the square coming from your 7th house feels like there's challenges when it comes to, say, relating with other people, or maybe relationships. That you have certain relationships, or a relationship feels like it's challenging your goals. So I think of, like, say, the person who wants to go back to work and pursue a certain path, and there's something about their relationship that it feels like, you know, it's like my partner won't let me. It's that kind of vibe. Or when it comes to the relationship, it could be that our pride won't let us, because the way we see ourselves in relation to other people could be a thing when it comes to the goals you're trying to set. Now, your 2nd house is also squaring the 10th house, and this is something around values. And I could see the person who, say, the person who has a bunch of degrees, or maybe they don't have a bunch of degrees, but this new goal you have, or this job you're taking on, you might feel like, I could do better than this. But at the end of the day, like, you got to pay your bills, is how it feels with some people here. So with Pluto transforming your 2nd house, you know, you're valuing things differently, but that 2nd house is squaring your 10th house. So with the square there, it's like something around your self-worth feels like it's challenged, or it feels challenged by. So your relationships and your self-worth feels challenged by this new beginning when it comes to career goals, legacy. But your 6th house is where Uranus is, and your 3rd house is where Saturn is, and Saturn conjuncts Neptune, and your 6th and your 3rd house is where the Yod is, the hand of God, and that's charging up this new moon. So you're doing a lot of reflection on how you could become more free when it comes to your day-to-day life, your schedule. You are reflecting on, say, you know, your community, your coworkers, your colleagues, your siblings, like being in the presence of others. So you're reflecting on the past, and you're reflecting on your communication. You're reflecting on how you are in the community amongst others. You're reflecting on your diet, your health, your time management, something around time, something around communication and community. And those things are charging up your 10th house where the new moon is. So the way how I see this is, say for a Capricorn looking for a new career, or making new goals, you are reflecting on, okay, say if it's a new career, okay, I like to get up at this time. So what will align with the schedule that works best for me? When it comes to, say, being amongst people, maybe you need more time to yourself. And it's like, okay, I can't be in this kind of a social setting because I need this, that, or the next. So it's like when it comes to this new moon, it's being charged by your needs when it comes to what you need on a day-to-day basis. It's being charged on, what is important to you, where your health is concerned, communication, and who you want to be around or who you can't be around. Or it's also being charged based on memories with siblings, just community. There's something about community and schedule that's charging or helping to inspire your new goals, your new career, and what you want for yourself that's coming up with this new moon, and how you're relating to these differences or these new beginnings. If you enjoy this or resonate with this message, then you would love my daily horoscope videos, only available on Patreon. If you'd like to book a session with me, both those links are available in the description box below. Before you go anywhere, let me know you're here by dropping a green heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hi Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. This new moon is happening in your 11th house. So this brings in some new beginning around long distance travel, or new beginnings around travel on a whole, maybe education, deciding to go back to school, deciding to learn something new, whether you're choosing to learn it yourself or getting someone to help you learn it. Maybe even a new beginning around philosophy, religion, and the way how you're seeing that. Maybe somebody's here studying theology is coming to mind. But the new moon in that area of your life is being squared by your 6th and your 1st house. So it's like there's this new beginning with long distance travel, but maybe your schedule, it's like you got this job and you're going to be traveling, but you don't know if you have the energy or your health will allow that. And also two challenges when it comes to like, I don't know if I'm this person anymore, with the T-score coming from your 1st house and your 6th house. So yes, there's a new beginning with either going back to school or something around traveling, philosophy, or beliefs. But there's a challenge around schedule, challenge possibly around health for some people, or just who I am. I don't see myself as that person anymore. And I feel like this is a great opportunity to either to become clear on who are you? Who do you want to become? Who do you want to allow yourself to be? Because a lot of the times it's mainly restrictions that are stopping us from being who we truly are. But your 5th house, where Uranus is, and your 2nd house, where Saturn is conjunct Neptune, is charging up this new moon area for your life. And, Uranus in your 5th house is in retrograde. So you're reflecting on how you could have more freedom. So you could spend time with your children, or more freedom in your relationships, or more freedom around your identity and who you are. You're also reflecting around your values and how to make more money or secure or hold on to more money. So you're reflecting on freedom and structure around finances, romance, identity, or something with your children. And all of that might be motivating some of you going back to school. It's like, I want to go back to school because I want to be able to spend more time with my children. I want to go back to school, or I want to travel more with my children, or I want to learn this new religion or philosophical way of being because it'll be beneficial for my children, or it'll be beneficial for my romantic, me and my partner, me and my children, or it ties into who I'm passionate about, like what I'm passionate about as an individual and what I value. So it feels like this new moon is being charged by the need for freedom and financial status or value. And I mean, I love that for you. Like, you can't go wrong for adding more value to yourself by educating yourself, if that's how you choose, whether you're scholastically educating yourself, or you're choosing to learn whatever it is that you want to learn on your own. And it feels like freedom. But I mean, isn't that natural, where Aquarius is always seeking freedom? But I love this energy for you. If you resonate with this message, then you will love my daily horoscope videos, only available on Patreon. If you'd like to book a session with me, both the links are in the description box below. Before you go anywhere, let me know you're here by dropping a white heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hi Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. So this new moon is happening in your 8th house. So for some of you, maybe you're signing a new contractual agreement. Maybe you're getting married, because marriage is a contractual agreement. You're signing some kind of a lease, some kind of a contract. Or for some of you, maybe there's a new beginning on your psychology. You're going to see a therapist or a counselor or a coach. You're going to see someone to understand certain things about yourself better. Maybe there's a new beginning because you're diving into some level of occult, some kind of divination practice, or maybe there's something around your spirituality and spiritual belief that feels renewed around this new moon. The challenges that you might face around this new moon energy is coming from your 5th house and your 12th house. For some of you, maybe it'll feel as if around this new moon energy, some things are coming up with your children, and you not being able to get enough sleep could be something for a Pisces with children. If you don't have children, it could be something around either your romantic partner, some unconscious beliefs are coming up. It could be your passion and interests, or ways of escaping reality feels like they're challenging this thing. So what I get from this, so say for example, there's a Pisces here that's signing some kind of contractual agreement. And this contractual agreement feels like it could be challenged by, say, you overlook certain things. You overlook certain things, or challenge in the sense that, say for example, there's an opportunity for you to buy into something that's actually a good fit for you right now, but that's not what's trending. So unconsciously, you can't see anything. You can't see the value in anything that isn't trending right now. An example of that is like, say a certain style of home is what is popular right now. And you might think you just love that style of home, but not know that you're being influenced by marketing and media. So it's like, even though something really nice is being presented to you, it's hard to accept what's being presented to you, because you're stuck on something else and don't know that that is a form of programming. That's one thing that's coming to mind. And another thing that's coming to mind, not being able to see one's unconscious beliefs and how it's getting in the way of certain things. And this could also go into, like, say the Pisces that's getting therapy, but keep getting stuck on the old identity and the old way of seeing things. So it's like, it feels as if it's almost like there's a part of you pushing against whatever you're experiencing or learning in therapy, even though it's beneficial. It's like the old ways feel like they have a hold in some interesting way. When it comes to, say, the new moon in your 8th house, it's being charged up by your 4th house and your 1st house. And being charged up by your 4th house and your 1st house, excuse me, Uranus is in your 4th house in Gemini. So this is highlighting the need for freedom in your like, I think of, like, say the Pisces who is a mom, and it's like, I see how I need more freedom. Like, I love my children, I love my family, but I need more freedom in the home. I need more freedom. So it's like there's something around freedom when it comes to your home, your family, something about freedom maybe from your mom. Also to, freedom to express yourself within your home, within your family, freedom when it comes to nurturing yourself the way you want to be nurtured. Saturn conjunct Neptune is in your 1st house. So you're reflecting on who you are and who you want to be, with more of a structured way of seeing things and not necessarily through rose-colored glasses. I get the Pisces that are reflecting about the truth of themselves based on observing patterns in their lives throughout the years. And it's like, based on the pattern, it's like, I keep doing this, even though my ideal version of myself is this, but the patterns are telling me something else. And I feel like, though there's, with the retrograde happening in the 4th house and the 1st house, is like deeply reflecting on how a person was nurtured, their relationship with their mom, or relationship with their family, or just needing freedom in the home and the family, and then reflecting on themselves as individuals. I feel like this energy is charging up the new beginning in the 8th house. And charging up the new beginning in the 8th house for some might be therapy, going to therapy, going to get counseling, going to see someone. For others, this could charge up diving into divination practices and different form of spirituality. But I feel like the goal is to understand oneself more and their inner working. Pisces, if you resonate with this message, you would love my daily horoscope videos, only available on Patreon. If you'd like to book a session with me, the links are available in the description box below. Before you go, let me know you're here by dropping a blue heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hi Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Aries, this new beginning is happening for you in the area of your life that deals with relationships. There's new beginnings on how you are relating to others. Either a new relationship is coming in, or the way you're relating to yourself, people, places, and things. There's a new beginning when it comes to that. But with these new beginnings, when it comes to relationships and relating, there's some challenges coming from your home and your public image or your friend group. So it's like, I want to relate to people in a new way, and I feel like I'm being challenged when it comes to what makes me feel nurtured, and also to my public image. I feel like for you Aries, it's almost like it's clear that the old way of showing up and not having proper boundaries with others isn't working. And it'll feel like, say, certain family members or people who have been accustomed to the old you and benefited from the way you were in the past, is like they're still fighting for that old version of you. And you might be feeling challenged as you got to allow yourself to be uncomfortable and lean into this new version of you and this new way of relating and connecting to others. Uranus is in your third house in retrograde, so there's big time reflection on your relationship with your siblings or your relationship with just groups of people, whether it's the people at church, the people at the grocery store, the people in your community, the people at your kids' school, your family members. I said your coworkers, or maybe I didn't, but it's like reflecting on your relationship with people and communication and even social media, and wanting to feel more free when it comes to that, not wanting to feel so restricted in this area. It's like you're reflecting on that. And that energy is energizing this new way that you're showing up and relating and connecting to others. Also, too, Saturn is in your 12th house. So it's like the area of your life where things have been so unconscious and hidden from you. It's like you're finally starting to see like how you could monetize and make certain creative things that you thought were unrealistic realistic, and you're reflecting on, certain goals or interests or creative things you were once into that you thought weren't realistic or weren't possible, and you're reflecting on how you could make those happen. And those things are charging up this new beginning when it comes to how you're relating to people. So I could see you relating to people in ways where you are having boundaries so that, people's expectations don't overwhelm and limit you, but also to relating to people in a way where you're more optimistic or childlike as far as allowing yourself to dream the dream, because now you're seeing certain dreams that you thought weren't possible. You're seeing that they're very possible. You're seeing that they're very possible based on, the structure and the discipline you may have implemented in the past, or you've gotten a glimpse of what structure and discipline can do. So it's changing things for you and changing the way you're relating to people. Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you resonate with this message, then you'll love my daily horoscope videos. If you'd like to book and my daily horoscope videos are available only on Patreon. Also, if you'd like to book a session with me, both those links are in the description box below. Before you go anywhere, let me know you're here by dropping a red heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This new moon is happening in your 6th house. So there's a new beginning for you when it comes to maybe health, maybe diet, how you're going about your day-to-day life. Maybe for some of you got a new job. So because of that, there's a difference with your schedule and how you're going about things on a day-to-day basis. Some challenges though are coming up in your 3rd house and your 10th house. So the challenges in your 3rd house and 10th house could be coming from, say, issues around communication. Maybe you got to speak up for something with this new job or this new schedule, and that might be challenging. Or maybe 10th house, 3rd house. It's like my ambitions, my goals, the community that I'm around with this new beginning, it all feels so challenging for me. It's like there's a new beginning with my schedule, but I don't know if it's in aligned with my ambitions or my goals. Like say there's a Taurus here, and for whatever reason, you're on this new regimen or you're on this new schedule. Something about your time and your schedule. It feels like the community that comes with it feels a little bit challenging, and it feels like for some, it's like I said, it doesn't feel in align with goals, legacy, ambition, and things of that. And I feel like this is a great opportunity to restructure things, redefine your definition of success. And if the schedule or this change that you're experiencing is something that you have to do right now, maybe you could use this opportunity to be clear on what do you want next, or where do you want to go next, so you could select, you could make different selections to align yourself with, say, a group of, you could become clear of what you want the culture and the atmosphere to be like when it comes to your day-to-day life, and become more clear around your goals and legacies. But in your second house is Uranus in retrograde. So you've been thinking about freedom around finances. I want to be financially free. I want to be free from certain family curses, and I want to be free from my family, some Taurus might say. And Uranian energy is there, and you're reflecting on the restrictions within the family, or reflecting on the lack of values or self-worth within the family. And you want to innovate things in that area. You want to make things different there. And we have Saturn in retrograde in your 11th house, and also to Saturn conjunct Neptune. And you're reflecting on your public image, you're reflecting on your friend group. So you're reflecting on your public image, your friend groups, and your self-worth. And I feel like these things are motivating this new beginning and how you're going to be showing up in your day-to-day life when it comes to your schedule. Maybe it's the job you're taking, maybe it's what you're doing with your diet, what you're doing with your health. But it's like you don't want things to be the way they were anymore with your family legacy, how your family does things. Maybe for some of you, or you want more financial freedom, or you want to do something that allows you to be financial free. So maybe that's the reason for taking the job that you'll be taking. And also, so you're reflecting on your public image and, you know, being around certain kind of people and the benefits that comes with that. That could also be something motivating your decision to make changes in your schedule, changes in your health. Taurus, if you resonate with this message, you'll love my daily horoscope videos. If you'd like to book a session with me, the links for both those things are in the description box below. Before you go, let me know you're here by dropping a green heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. So the new moon is in your 5th house. Maybe there's a new beginning when it comes to a romantic interest for some of you Geminis. Maybe there's a new beginning with children. Maybe you're about to have a baby. You've heard news that you're pregnant, your partner's pregnant, we're having a baby. Maybe that's the case with some Geminis. Or maybe the new beginning for you is this new beginning around passion, around interest, around identity. You're able to see yourself in the world in a different way. Like you have a new passion, you have a new goal, like you have something new that you want to pursue that makes you feel energized, that makes you feel excited. So the new moon in Libra is happening in your 5th house, and that's being squared by your 2nd house and your 9th house. So it feels like when it comes to this new beginning with passion, or even say if it's children or romantic interest, it feels like it's going against maybe your finances, as it's expensive for some of you, and it's taking away your time, as it'll cause you to travel. But then for others of you, maybe it's just it's something about it challenges your values, your self-worth. Some of it challenges your philosophical beliefs. So whether it's getting in the way of your money and your time, or your spiritual beliefs and your family values, it feels like something about this new beginning feels like it's challenging those things. But the new beginning is being energized by Uranus in your sign in retrograde, and Saturn in retrograde conjunct Neptune in your 10th house. So your 10th house and your 1st house are energizing this new beginning in your 5th house. So for me, this looks like you're reflecting on, say, how do I be free as a person? How can I be free as an individual? You're reflecting on that, and reflecting on ways how you felt restricted, felt like captured, controlled. You're also reflecting on your goals, your legacy, and you're being more, you're having more clarity as far as who do you see yourself as in this world? What do you want your legacy to be? And those two things are energizing this new beginning in the 5th house. So it's like, okay, I know what I want to be in this world, or I have a clear idea of how I want to be remembered in this world. I want freedom. I don't want people to control me. I don't want people to act like they own me. And I feel like those energies or those thought processes are giving birth to this new passionate beginning, this new passionate beginning when it comes to like this new identity. It's like, yeah, there's this new identity with the new moon happening in your 5th house. Like I said, it could be a new child, it could be a new romantic interest, or a new passion project. And if it's a romantic interest, it's like, okay, this kind of partner fits me best because I could see this partner being an asset to me as I aspire to this dream or goal. Or this partner fits me best because this partner allows me to be free. If it's a partner. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. If you resonate with this message, you'll love my daily horoscope videos, only available on Patreon. If you'd like to book a session with me, both those links are available in the description box below. Before you go, let me know you're here by dropping a white heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hi, Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. Cancer, this new beginning is happening in your 4th house. For some Cancers, this is a new beginning, maybe when it comes to your relationship with your mom. Maybe a new beginning as you're remodeling your home, you're making corrections to your home. Maybe you're moving, you're signing a new lease. You're living in a new place, or there's a new beginning when it comes to how you're nurturing yourself, a new beginning when it comes to your emotional state and how you manage that. So the new beginning in your 4th house is being squared by your 1st house and your 8th house. So it's like, yes, there's this new beginning where, say there's a new beginning when it comes to your home. It feels like this new beginning in your home feels like it's challenging who you are as a person. And it could be challenging your credit or challenging your finances, because your 8th house and your 1st house is squaring your 4th house. So when it comes to, like, say the 1st house squaring the 4th house, maybe the new beginning when it comes to how you're nurturing yourself is challenging how you're showing up or how you're seen or how people see you. If it's your home environment, it's like something new about your home environment feels like it's challenging you as an individual, because maybe how you see yourself and what's happening in your home feels like they're not in aligned for you for whatever reason. With the 8th house square coming from the 8th house to your 4th house, this new beginning in your 4th house feels like it could be challenging your 8th house in the sense that, say for like the Cancer here, and it's like there's this new beginning when it comes to how you're managing your emotions. It could be challenging your psychology in the sense that maybe you've been conditioned to see things a certain way and go about things in a certain way. And it's like this new way of doing things feels so foreign. What that looks like for me is, say the Cancer that now sets boundaries, and say for example, the Cancer now that sets boundaries because they're protecting their emotional health. But with the square coming from their 8th house, say protecting your emotional health means that you have boundaries with your parents. And say you came from a religious background where they always quoted the scripture that says, honor your mother and your father and your days will be longer, and they leave out the rest of the scripture. It's like this new beginning with nurturing you could be challenging your psychology as you feel like you're doing something wrong in the process of nurturing you. That's something that could be coming up for some Cancers. And this is where you go back and you read the entire scripture and realize that, you know, it's not just one-sided, because people will only remember the part that fits their narrative. Your 12th house is where Uranian energy is in retrograde. So you're reflecting on certain patterns that have been showing up when it comes to unconscious behavior. And you probably want to be free when it comes to your spiritual expression. Something like, say, for example, a Cancer here was in a relationship or a connection that was restricting their ability to dream or restricting their intuition. And I feel like a situation could restrict our intuition in the sense that, say your dreams keep telling you to stay away from a person or a situation, and then you pretty much immerse yourself into the person or the situation. After a while, it's like, what's the point of your dreams coming through if you're disregarding the guidance that they're giving? I could see the Cancer that reflects like, damn, my dream showed me this, my intuition showed me that, my premonition showed me that. And it's like, I ignored it. And it's like, wow, you know, this energy now is motivating or charging up, you know, with the Yad, the hand of God. This energy now is charging up the new beginning in your 4th house, where it's like, I know how it feels to disregard my intuition and premonition, and I'm not going to do that anymore. Or with Uranus in your 12th house in retrograde, you're reflecting on time alone and how important it is for you to have time alone. And that could be charging up the changes that are happening in your home as you see the importance of your mental health and your time alone meditations and things of that nature. Also, too, the other hand of God, the Yod, is coming from your 9th house, which Saturn is there in retrograde, conjunct Neptune also in retrograde. So you're reflecting on travel, higher education, or philosophical or spiritual belief, and that's also charging up the new beginning in your home or how you're dealing with your emotional state. It feels like for you guys, this new moon feels like it has a lot of spiritual energy around it. There's a lot of spiritual energy around it, and it feels like, you know, from you reflecting, reading certain information or coming across certain content, there's a new beginning when it comes to how you're living, where you're living, or how you're dealing with your emotional state. And I'm loving that for you. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you resonate with this message, you'll love my daily horoscope videos, only available on Patreon. If you'd like to book a session with me, both those links are in the description box below. Before you go, let me know you're here by dropping a blue heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hi, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So Leo, when it comes to this new moon in Libra, there's new beginnings happening for you in your 3rd house. These new beginnings in your 3rd house could look like, say, maybe your immediate environment is changing. So that could be that you're moving. Maybe the community that you live in, maybe it was sold by another company to another company. So they're making major new beginnings to your immediate new environment. Maybe there's construction around where you're living. So your immediate environment is looking different. Maybe if you're someone who creates content and you're on social media, maybe things are changing in a major way for you when it comes to your social media presence, as your community might be changing. Maybe you're gaining new eyes and visibility when it comes to the content you create, or just naturally, maybe you're changing departments at work, but there's some kind of new beginning when it comes to your immediate community, whether it's your online community or your physical community. And this could be the people at church, the people at work, the people in the grocery store, the people around you that comes with the environment. You didn't choose them, they're a part of it. Or maybe there's a new beginning with how you're communicating. You're communicating different. You're communicating in a way that is more diplomatic with this new moon in Libra. So your 12th house and your 7th house is squaring your 3rd house where the new moon is. So with Jupiter in your 12th house, something around unconscious beliefs or maybe need for isolation and privacy. And also to your 7th house, your house of relationship, feels like, they're squaring your 3rd house. So yes, there's this new beginning for you in your community with how you're communicating or social media presence. But those things feel like they might be challenged based on relationships. How you relate to people feels challenging with this new beginning in these areas, or even some unconscious beliefs or need for privacy. So what I get from this is it feels like your immediate environment is bringing in more people. And if you're a Leo that is, say you deal with social anxiety, or you deal with imposter syndrome, or you deal with certain people away, it feels like you're going to have to learn how to deal with people differently, in the sense that, say the Leo that has a big heart and loves to give of themselves. And it's like when you're dealing with a smaller group or community, you could give of yourself and it's not depleting. But if your community is expanding in some way, then it's depleting, as there's instead of 5 people that needed your attention within the week or within the day, now it's 50. You can't give your attention to all of these people. So you're going to have to communicate different. You're going to have to show up different. We have the Yod, the hand of God, coming from your 11th house and your 8th house. Both those houses have energies in retrograde. So the 11th house has Uranus in retrograde. The 8th house has Saturn conjunct Neptune in retrograde. So you're reflecting on past relationships with friends and public image, and you want freedom there. You reflect on how things were in the past and how you may have felt restricted in these areas, and you want to show up different to have more freedom. And with your 8th house, you're reflecting on, say, how you may have been unconscious about your psychology, about your mindset, and how you show up to and how you show up in the world, or maybe passive and multiple streams of income. But your 11th and your 8th house is charging up your 3rd house. So this means the new beginnings around community communication is being charged up by making new connections, but ones that allow for freedom. Being charged up by, new way of communicating, or new relationship with your siblings, but a new psychology, a different mindset approaching these things. It's like approaching things with a new psychology is what I'm seeing for you, Leo. Leo, sun, moon, and rising. If you resonate with this message, then you'll love my daily horoscope videos, only available on Patreon. If you'd like to book a session with me, both those links are available in the description box below. Before you go, let me know you're here by dropping a red heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hi Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. This new moon is happening in your 2nd house. So the new moon happening in your 2nd house, there's a new beginning or new beginnings around self-worth, new beginnings around finances. Maybe there's a stream of income, new beginnings around family. Maybe the relationship with your family or family members have shifted in some way and things are different there. You're relating to your family in a different way. You're relating to your values in a different way. You're relating to your self-worth in a different way. I get the feeling here for some Virgos, some things you may have thought were valuable in the past, you are like, you're not seeking value in those places anymore. You're not seeking comfort in those places anymore. The new moon is happening in your 2nd house and it's being squared by your 11th and your 6th house. So it feels like with this new moon, a new beginning when it comes to your values, it feels like it's being challenged by your schedule or your need to show up and serve, and your public image and your public image and the people. So it feels like there's something around service that's challenging the new beginning in your 2nd house. So say, for example, the Virgo here that might be in a position to make more money and they're experiencing some guilt from the opportunities around making more money because they might feel like, okay, how can I give back? How can I serve? You can always start a charity or donate. But for other Virgos, it'll feel as if this new beginning when it comes to your self-worth, it feels like it's being challenged by your relationship with others. I feel like it feels like it's being challenged by boundaries. I think of the Virgo who doesn't know how to make a disconnection or put up boundaries between themselves and what they give and do for others. And it feels like with this new moon energy, it feels like that's where the challenge is coming from. Uranus is in retrograde in your 10th house. Saturn is in retrograde in your 7th house. Saturn conjuncts Neptune. So your 10th house and 7th house, there's a lot of reflection happening in those areas and they are charging up your 2nd house where the new moon energy is. So with Uranus in your 10th house, you're reflecting on how you could be free career-wise, how you could be free legacy-wise. You're reflecting on your freedom. And with Saturn in your 7th house, conjunct Neptune, you're reflecting on clarity around relationships. You're finally able to see relationships so much more clear opposed to how you saw them in the past. So with now seeing relationships clearly and reflecting on the issues you've had in past relationships because you weren't seeing them clearly, that paired up with wanting more freedom with your legacy and your public image, that is creating or supporting this new beginning when it comes to your values and your self-worth. It's like you're valuing yourself in a way that allows you to pursue a career path where you're free and you're authentically yourself, and you could be that rebel in the eyes of others. It's like you're creating new values that doesn't allow what other people think of you to control you. Creating new values or new beginnings around self-worth that allows for you to relate to people as they are and not see them through rose-colored glasses. This feels like the ultimate freedom, Virgo, as you're allowing yourself to show up in the world freely and allowing yourself to truly see others and not seeing their potential, where in the past you may have found yourself constantly deceived and feeling like you've been taken advantage of, because you've been seeing others through the rose-colored glasses, through the possibilities, opposed to truly seeing them as they've been showing up. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. If you resonate with this message, then you'll definitely love the daily horoscope videos only available on Patreon. If you'd like to book a session with me, both those links are in the description box below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.